I stumbled across the world's most mysterious book, and I didn't really think much of it when I first found out about it. I mean, there's so many things that we haven't really discovered yet, or things that are unknown. And like some of these would probably be like the pyramids of Giza or the Moai structures. We still don't know what that was as well. And I didn't realize how mysterious this book was until I actually found out the contents in it. This is what separates it from others. It's not actually the lack of where it came from and the background behind it, the history. It's the actual stuff that's inside the book that's kind of crazy. This is a book that is basically 102 parchments and is practically a 9 by 6 inch book. We'll get to what it contains, but just a bit of context for now. The manuscript is not mysterious in terms of its journey through time. It is known that it came from a Roman Emperor Rudolf II and was potentially given by John Dee, and he was a famous mathematician and an astrologer. Or it could have been by Roger Bacon, who was into astronomy as well, but he also invented the spectacles, so glasses existed due to him. Then in southern Italy, Villa Mondragone, around 30 ancient texts were bought by a fellow Polish revolutionary, one of which was the Voynich Manuscript, and he rediscovered it. It was then passed along to Hans P. Cross, and basically what he said was, "I'm gonna buy this book for $25,000. Voynich responded with a yes, because he bought the book. And after he died, and after some time, he valued it over 100K. And now the book is currently in the Yale Library. But now it's worth around 125K to 500K. See, the background that, we just talked about is pretty interesting. And there are things that we haven't uncovered yet, but we only know a few things. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. Whenever researchers or scientists are given, a piece of literature and it's ancient, they usually have to decipher it. This is done by seeing how much certain letters and phrases repeat throughout an excerpt of a text, seeing how often they come up, and then compiling them into a list. To give some examples of this, scientists have deciphered cuneiform, Linear B, and some other languages. However, in the Voynich Manuscript, we didn't. Well, we couldn't. There was definitely repetition in some of the texts and throughout the entire book, and we do have a large amount of words to go off of, but scientists could not figure it out yet. There were actually a couple theories to how to decipher this manuscript, and 3 of these include the use of a translator, a language that we can't really tell, or just nonsense. There were actually several methods and attempts to create a plausible method to decode this language, and they were all debunked. There was also the theory that Voynich himself created the manuscript, and it got debunked because of carbon dating. Carbon dating is a way for researchers to specifically know how old a certain artifact is by the amount of leftover carbon that's in the artifact itself and its physics. It's one of the main reasons why this artifact or this manuscript is so mysterious, because we don't know what it's saying. But there are actually many other artifacts like these. The Rongorongo language in Easter Island, that's something we couldn't decipher, and it's told that only the higher elitists of Easter Island know what it is, but we don't know that for sure. What makes it so different from those artifacts? The amount of content you would see is very different from what you would see in ancient caves and the etchings in certain walls of some sort that depict maybe like a herd of animals. Although the language is undeciphered, the clarity in the actual picture is vaguely intuitive, and that's also the same reason why the Voynich manuscript sets itself apart. Throughout the Voynich manuscript, we see things that we don't really recognize. Alienated planets, unknown astrological diagrams, potential constellations, representations, and relationships between animals, women, and even naked women in green baths. Not only do we understand the language of the text, but the sole purpose of it itself. However, with this, there are obviously some theories and some interpretations of what the purpose is. Some of these include a form of religious text and morality. However, many scholars do believe that this is a health guide manual from all the way back in ancient Rome, because in ancient Rome, they believed that bats would cure all disease, and having it under certain auspicious days would likely increase the chances, and therefore the constellations and unknown astrological diagrams within the text. But after all, it's all a speculation. The Voynich Manuscript is still considered to be an unknown language of some sort, and hopefully we'll resolve this mystery one day. AI could potentially decipher this, but attempts have already been tried. But for now, this is one of the most mysterious books in the world right now. And that's about it.